And welcome back, everyone, to our second session of High Vibe Channeling for this March 19th, 2026. We have the extra special guest duo this evening of Wendy Wolfe and Dave Yelen. Wendy is a multidimensional channeler of light language, written light codes, which are very cool. I've seen them. Spiritual guidance, first contact specialist, spiritual artist, and also participates in sound healings and oracle cards. She's also a vocal channel, shaman, guide of source energy, multiple collective consciousnesses, angels, galactic and ET extraterrestrials, galactic families, spirit guides, animal guides, parallel realities, counterparts, hybrid children, multi-vibrational frequencies, and she can be contacted on her website languageoflights.com and her YouTube channel Languages of Lights. And Dave Yellen is her metaphysical counterpart. He is also experienced with channeling light language and drumming and provides many hours of entertainment and deep insights for us, as well as spiritual energy for all he encounters. And thank you both for coming forth and pleasing us and giving us a bit of your energy this evening.
And we say hello to the fairies and all the fey realms. Yalakisi tokishia. Isaviasa. Naya tova seveshinaya hi. Hayana. Nimlia sofashanaya. Alahi. Malaku. Siamalia samakoshotea. Si mea levis maro onoro, in chialavas mare vispaye, is the vishano kaliano esabalvasono. Dialo. It is in deep divine grace, gratitude, and appreciation as we gather with you today. All of us here, as we are gathered here with the emissaries of the Light Collective, who are very joyous to be with you. And we will go in and out of the I, we, personas, because they are we, I am we, they are my multidimensional aspects. They come to me as, if I best could describe it, an aurora borealis. That is how they, in a sense, present themselves to me, and that's just what they introduced themselves to me first, probably a dozen years ago, where we are representatives of all aspects, realms, dimensions, interdimensionals, because that is who I like to play with. That is who I am, and that is who we all are. And so at the very beginning of my light language experience, it was like everything I began to understand, or was being taught, that absolutely everything is a language of light. Everything. And I would like to begin by saying thank you to Arla for bringing in all of those beautiful energies, and the questions and the answers were so beautifully synchronistic with all of the things that we'd like to share today. Very, very beautiful. So I am got chills because of just some of the beautiful synchronicities, and I'm even writing in my own little book that Dave and I put together for synchronicities, intentions for manifestations, of which we're always joyous to talk about, because that is what we are. We are creator beings, and part of the light language that comes through, and the biggest message for tonight is about keys, that they are keys. You are keys. We are all walking keys. And I wanted to begin by just sharing a brief 12 years I have had this beautiful antique desk that I lost the key for. And only, this week, the locksmith, a very master locksmith came and not only opened it, but he created a key for me. And he had a lot of keys. And all of a sudden, you know how it happens, the downloads start with the channeling of keys about what this is and what you all are and what we all are, and you all are keys. And the light languages for all of us as we transmit in this evening are keys that are unlocking the doors that you have been asking to open. And I wanted to begin by saying, Ray was right in that it's always very I go by synchronicity when being invited to hang out. And it just so happened I hear the 19th. And it wasn't really until today that I realized it's the equinox. That is why they wanted us to chat tonight. This is about the new year in all of us, the new beginning of all of us. So whether it is the spring equinox for all of us here in the Northern Hemisphere, or your fall equinox in the Southern Hemisphere, all are a part of the language of the light, and the flowers was one of the number one part of the tapestry, of the understanding of the connection between light language and flowers. Flowers are the highest vibrational frequency in the realm in which we are gathered. And as Ray well knows, as all those who are in touch with the flower realms, they are the beginning of a light language. Every color is a language of light. So for each and every one of us, all the information that comes through, whether it's through the drums, whether it's through singing, speaking, are keys, codes for each and every one of us, all of you. So treating this day as the sacred day that it is, this new beginning of the equinox. And today is also the 19th, which when we add up the numbers for today equals 5, which is the symbol for humanity. 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 arms, etc. And the sacred circuit for number 5 is express. And today, Liamaka, it is for opening up the keys of intentions for all of us to express ourselves in more and more in the ways that we have been divinely guided. And these keys help us do that. So I wanted to also start with another fun synchronicity. Angie, wow, you touched on so many fun questions. I just said to Dave, today, I'm hanging the hummingbird feeders tomorrow. It's time. They're coming. And I just knew they're coming. And the hummingbirds, I'm getting the chills. The hummingbirds early on in my awakening were one of the most sacred communicators with me of when I began speaking light languages, and with my camera out there, they began sending me telepathic messages about how they show us how multidimensional we are, that we are moving so fast through the multi-dimensions that we can't perceive our own wings, if you will. That they demonstrate to us that ability for us to vibrate so fast, we're invisible almost. They teach us so many, I want to say tricks, and they're very fun to watch as well. Very mobile beings, and they express to us our constant ability to remind us that we are new every breath we are new, that we don't carry anything with us into the now unless we believe it's serving us. That's how these beings of the language of light, their sound affects us. It demonstrates, it vibrates in us a language of their light that carries information to and from our DNA. Once again, acting as keys. And we use the equinox, the planetary movement, not as a cause, but as a mirror. It is a reflection. There's always a reflection of us. And we believe that often, as we were talking about earlier, the moonlight carries very specific codes for our DNA and, as we've mentioned before, our galactic families. As we've mentioned before, the Syrians, directing intentional, vibrational codes of information through our moonlight, because they understand also our relationship with our planetary structures, and how we're reminding that they are a mirror of us to remind us of what we are, who we are, the multidimensionality, light kaleidoscopes that we are. And as you eloquently said earlier, we're always changing our vibration every moment. Every time we interact with a crystal, they are carrying light codes of information, a language of light, of which your observation in that moment changes everything in the cosmos, because it is a quantum conversation. And that is also a language of light. I remember early on too recognizing that there are beings who somehow understand this sign language. It's not that I have anything memorized at all. Including the hybrid children. Because they see a language of light that we cannot see. But it's there. We understand Reiki energy. Many people can see this energy between my hands. Because there are colors. It is also, of course, another layer of this language of light. And the symbols that I have written that have been left for us by our ancients, by our grandparents, our grandmothers and grandfathers, of the sky, the mountains, and the beings that we still connect to, that have left their message in their own symbols and sigils and what is that, the written on the mountains, the symbols that they have written and left for us, all their own language of light. When we look at a simple symbol, something activates in us. It opens a key that reminds us of that entire civilization by looking at just one of their drawings. Petroglyphs, is that correct?
Petroglyphs.
Each and every one of our planets emits its own sound, its own language of light. So as each and every one of us engages in these activities together, these joyous interactions with each other, we are opening, we are providing keys to each other to open more of our multidimensional selves. And I invite tonight to all of us in this energy of the equinox as a mirror of a reflection to us of our perfect balance, our cycles, our seasons. to envision our own intention. It could be for someone else. It could be for yourself. It could be for the planet. But to remind ourselves that when we are in the true vibration of unconditional love, we understand the perfection that nothing needs fixing. We simply vibrate differently to this new dimension, this new version that you came to experience yourself as, and interact with the beings in a new way. I wanted to take a moment also to mention about talking about the water and the light codes. For many years, I was guided to mention about putting out sun tea, and how when I was making the sun tea, those codes from the light, from the sun, and I leave it out also for the moonlight as well, and intentionally for in the full moon, etc. And everything that we do is a permission slip to become more and more, to discover more and more of all that we are and all that we're connected to, and the new ways that we're connected to these things. And that's how those light codes also provide keys to us to discover more that we are. So I thought it was a beautiful synchronicity as well that you were also talking about the water and the vibrational intention behind putting that water out there under the moonlight and etc. and in the sunlight, and how then, yes, drinking it. And of course, everything is a permission slip to become more in tune with the vibration of what we truly are. And so when you brought that up, I just thought that was so interesting, because it's an alchemy. And now the alchemy, and then of course I also, because I love light language, and you can just send love to the water, of course, but I also speak the light language to the water with the moonlight and the sunlight, because they have just said to me, this is an alchemy. This is alchemy for each and every one of you. And as each and you, then you are alchemizing it by now your intention and your observation and your interaction with that water in the way that you have chosen to interact with it, is deeply alchemizing and activating keys. That it seems such a simple act, doesn't it? But yet we know
it changes everything.
It changes everything.
One of the first interactions that we've had together long before we met, but we just knew each other from YouTube and Facebook, that we planned to set our crystals out to be charged by the moonlight. I forget if it must have just been a full moon.
Could have been some.
But our intention was to set all our crystals out to be charged, and of course also a permission slip. But the idea that all of these vibrational energies can be absorbed by the crystals, and you can then have that energy available all the time, holding the crystal, speaking to the crystal. And water is just another form of the crystalline frequencies that hold the energy. And just like Arla had mentioned, grandmother, about when you put your water out to be charged, the energies that it holds, and we know water has memory of energy.
Absolutely.
Like that's a scientific understanding.
We know that. Yes.
So that memory of those vibrations, those frequencies, those intentions, the light language that you might speak to it, the singing that you just may do, and it doesn't have to be light language, it holds those frequencies and energies, and they never go away. They always remember them. They're always available to you.
And to remind us just how and I use the word multidimensional because I don't know that I know a better word to describe, what they show us. But Elisamo chevi imi, ilavasomo vikinomaya, alavisomoto aijinki, samasapariva. Our geometry, as I'm sure we understand, our keys, they help us understand the structure of our reality. But they're still showing me, but they're keys. And I want to go back to the locksmith that was here as he just sat there and was wiggling the lock, and he's filing the key, and he's got all of these antique keys, and he's just so in tune with that lock. And then he would ask me a question about the lock, and then he would go back to work, and he'd sit and he'd file it a little more, and I was getting all these downloads about the that we're all holding the master keys already.
Yeah, and he had like hundreds of keys.
It was just
and none of them fit. He had to make it.
It was just an amazing thing to watch, and yet I knew I was also having some kind of metaphysical experience while I was, because I could hear them talking about this, that this is what we want to talk about, keys.
And he picked up on the high energy of the moment.
Yeah, he totally
he didn't want to leave.
Yeah, he totally did not want to leave. He was like, you guys are just so cool. Like, and he was, he says, I'm just an old hippie. And it was just such a perfect moment. It was like one of those interactions that we may never meet again, and yet it made such a profound difference to both of us. I can't explain it. And he was like, and how long has that desk been locked? And I was like, 12 years. Like, pretty much as long as I started my light language journey. That desk was the intentions that I set with that desk and the things that I placed on it at the time in that linear belief in my mind was the intentions that set the trajectory.
And from 12 years ago, when you last closed the desk, and then you opened it for the first time, well, he opened it, what was the first thing that you saw that came out of the desk?
I forgot about that. It was a tablet of paper, just a school line paper, and it said 1111 portal, languages of lights. There was a few other things written on the page. I completely forgot all about that. First thing, light language, languages of lights, 1111 portal. Dave and I were married on 1111. So, and that's always been my favorite number. So, again, with the synchronicities. I've always been taught by my guides that these sounds and symbols and they are to we can't increase our synchronicities, but we can increase our awareness of them and how they relate to our current now, and how that becomes a key. How the synchronicity itself, the interaction itself, the interaction, as we've talked about, with the nature and the Fey realms. And of course, we're part of the Fey realms. We are everything. And this is what they are so excited to explain, is that we all carry all of those keys, regardless of how we really define ourselves. We are all those things. And it is simply more and more the keys to decode who we are. And this will be different and unique for each and every one of us. And of course, the synchronicities, that the idea is to then tell yourself, I will begin to not only see, but act upon the synchronicities that become my reality as I have chosen to create that by intention. So, however we would like to utilize these keys today, these whatever comes through in the light languages, the drumming. I have my hand pan here too, so I may switch over to that. I hope we can hear it okay. Yeah, whatever. And I wanted to stop too, just to see, does anybody at this point have any comments or questions? I know Ray's probably already asked, but from anything that we've already shared so far.
Oh, it's been very exciting, and I'm feeling lots of energy that's coming in, because we're talking about all the sacred water, and that's what we are. So we're transmuting all of these energies, and we're feeling all of this sacred water within us, which is helping us absorb this on many levels. And thank you both for coming through, because this is wonderful information.
So I think we would like to invite everyone to sort of sing along with us as we play some drums.
I have no idea what's going to come out, so that we never know.
So you could, it's okay with me if you turn your mics on, you leave them off, you keep your video on or off, but we could sort of have a sound bath concerto.
There you go.
That will raise everyone's vibration.
All right.
We can all hum along.
Do you want to drum with me?
Yeah.
Or you want to drum for me? Or, well, here. I'll start for a moment, and then I'll hang on to this. And I wanted to recognize all of you and our interconnectedness. Nehiala kunuya Semalaki numayahi Numalalake tua Masiato kuya Sinakiala yanawa Nishiata. Welcome, sister.
So, sister, I love you.
And for anyone who is intending to open their throat chakras, to hum in the woods as you spoke, to sing to the flowers and the plants, the trees, to God itself as you define all that is. Is your desire to speak or sing the language of your soul? Allow these activations to vibrate, a chord within you that wishes to sing and dance and become the beautiful artist of your reality. Oh no, you are. Se shumaya
Naranaye.
Ilakale shano haya nana he anomala kelai melala keno valatela kana he na ye na hana he mola kela shena kala hela kono maya no malake Nula la que la va no cuate besaki soto villa ya hina yoga open the connections to your extraterrestrial, your counterparts, the shaman within you, the one who knows how to speak to the food and the stars. Know that you created them. Activate the remembering that you are soul connected to oversouls. That you all share. We are all a part of you. Nayayoki, Noyayoki, Nayohu, Anoyua. Say the Kianoa Tiaroso. Nisa. Yato Koyasha Nitiavakoa. Express yourself as. Are you a planet? Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. Are you a rainbow? Are you a unicorn? Are you an animal guide? Of course you are. You are the guides of other guides. You are guides to the guides. The masters. You hold the master keys. Believe always are all things. You are that perfect light, that perfect partner, that perfect job. You are the creator. But that is only here. Moroha. You have been creating for millennia. There is no galaxy, there is no dimension that you are not a part. There is no separation between you and all things. Yawa Kanaheva Unama. The planet is a reflection. When you are in peace in your heart, a version of that planet will become a mirror, become your reality. Noako Numasapawa. Do you wish clarity? Nawaka Numasapatia. You already contain all that you need to know. You are clarity. You need not seek something you are already. Noakwami Tevelemoro. You are already all that you intend yourselves to be. Acting out every part. You are the apple and the tree and the leaf and the root. Yawakani wa imorohokoa. You are the one that eats that apple. You eat that tuakwa. You are the Kishano Ea Nea Ayanahi Sela Kishono Mayalaki Moya Nea pollen that falls from the tree. We are the flower. We are the pollen. We are the tree. We are the observer. Now, Sono Yanaki Yanakoro Vesa Mayua Melanto Higa so para Bismani Shoma Ama Ewaki and Biaf Saparikisha no Palamonoko Priana Bia Sipo Untoshe Timaya Moro mi Bagonda Hisabaliando con the Marshal no Goa Sanity Visporoshe Timanki Nairuha Levisomohua Niente Jitumbagiasa. You are the dragon and you are the fire. Yahweh. You are the star systems from which you believe you came, yet you created them. Yanote, you are not from anywhere. You are everywhere. Yahweh, you contain Atyaso, all the knowledge. Atua. You are now understanding that you are connected to all that you desire. Atua. All the voices that wish to speak and through you. Tua, show me Atua. You are better antenna. Noa kawasho, bawa inebeama. These interactions grow, extend your antenna. You may express all the ways that you desire to express yourself. Tuasho no koema. Yes, I'll go and take this body to Shemaya. When you can't sleep at night, remember, hold your hand out and remember
Darotu maratana kera
all that you
sadna
can connect
kehato.
to. Yawakatoshamiya Viyamora.
Nere.
This is something that the channel has been deeply immersed in. Kwanate. When the voices wake her in the night, she reaches, remembering there's a choice. There's always something else to reach for. To remind, you create your past from the present to serve the soul, to serve the path, the lessons, the life you came to explore. Tuasha makuanda hena malebeso. Miana miano akete. Tuasamote vesaba ishaniki. Samaya wana. Remember, you tend your body. Your body is your consciousness. Your consciousness does not reside in your body.
No kashta narakire.
Body is a creation of your consciousness. All other beings, you create the version in your consciousness. You are in control. Always. Always. Nothing is uninvited. And it is all perfect. In perfect timing, in perfect synchronicity, in perfect love. Ana. Sinaya kunu mahaya. Sianokwa. Each and every one of you, as you ascend, recognize the shaman within you, the ability to reach out into the multi-dimensions, into the interdimensional worlds, and seek all the answers you desire. Seek and share. Nawa and share for the good of the collective. Nawa hanatia. Each and every one of you. As you remember all that you are. Nawaka. And you bring this information into your reality. Nawa ante. The more you become the vibration of that vision. And remember, you create it all. There's nothing outside of you, for there's nothing outside of creation. Nothing. Nawakonopoa. It's hard to understand that you have invited Nawakonopoa Isha, the experience of a master. Tuakua. Of becoming completely locked away from what you truly are. And now the keys are being presented to you. And now you're finding them in all beautiful places. You are finding them in the forest. You are finding them in your dreams. You are finding them in each other. You find them in the flower, the water, the tea. Picking up the keys along the way to unlock your consciousness. Nawa Antea. Naya Enaya Kitula Onaya Kilava Anupa ikiso to subalevshana. Inokuashitia zubushumuro. Atisivia samaliviana kilianto hanandakiata. Samisa visamia yandoshujunja yasaninka. Landia sabolivis maria yamakwa. You are invited to meet yourself. Lavisamate, holy, love amoropi Indiana, with open arms to all that you are. Ascension is not going somewhere. It is knowing thyself completely. Whether it's through the star systems that you know, that which you do not. Knowing thyself is understanding. You invite all that you desire. And you have the complete and utter control to change your reality. By changing your belief. Pantia. The process is yours to experience. Understand the process is yours to choose the speed, the length. When you utter those words, I have no control. Remember, this moment is the key. That yes, what we think is what can be. For all possibilities are possible with an infinite number of realities, an infinite number of dimensions, an infinite number of experiences. You are lifting yourselves, all of you, Now, say, in your words, lifting, but you're actually expanding. Remember, now, vibrating and a new dimension. Tialo que se bishi mari spare que no pia posto por o sono. Ma e teve che non di salvation attivity no maki. And chaya visa para o sono tibile no care. But you now begin to experience this. Your communication, your ubiquitous connection to all things. Nalo kia samo salvation. Nato isefishin noto ero koyana balianum. Tiamo salvation ina. Nato tiale salvation kileve mayo onomianiki. Everything that you can imagine, you are already. You don't need to become. You don't need to learn to be something. You don't need to be taught something. You already are. Nyasoko Shichishian, Elizabeth, Sonotivilaya Chai. It is Ashia Novi, Maya, Izavisete. These new beginnings offer you the opportunity to give yourselves permission to watch, to move into the direction of what is truly you. Finding your voice. Always, always pulling that information. For as your intention is for the good of the collective. That is always the mirror. It is for the good of all, which includes you. Nothing is ever left out. No one. Nothing. You are without nothing. Tiemto isa samata kishinito. Tijana tieto. Shit. I love that. Yes, Soto Vishinito.
And just basking in the energy.
Our love for you is greater than you can ever imagine. We hold you all in our arms. Miaro une kiawa. Ton shoya. Amo koa. Oh, koyanete. We unwrap you. And that full hug of our love. Notoshimite anako. The love of the mother, the father, the grandmothers and grandfathers, the children. Tolea samotovisamati intia. Anumai wahana. Boroko. The hug from God. Niado seme sepatio. Niashoto. Niado. Yes. Namaste. Thank you, Lula. Yes, Okoshiniti. Yes, Otoshi. I love this.
Well, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Quite the energetic evening.
And this is one of the highest vibrational instruments on our planet. Mwah.
I got one of those in my future at some point.
How's everybody feeling? Yaso kushi dai yaso no se.
Man, I am
Wonderful.
so buzzy wuzzy. My body's shaking like a big jelly blubber here.
I remember nothing.
That's why we have the replay.
I really don't. I don't remember anything.
Hey, however it flows through you, that's the way it's supposed to come to all of us. So thank you. Thank you both.
That's what they say.
Does anyone have any questions? Comments?
Or just say, hey, good night.
I enjoyed it. There was a lot of
The
information.
one thing I will say about light language is that it's kind of like the idea with the light codes in the water. It isn't something that you just experience now and that's it. It doesn't work like that. It's kind of like a part of you, and as they usually will say, things will continue to absorb and reflect, and yes, okay, she may say it's not always an immediate, like magic wand kind of thing. Like it can work its way a little at a time.
The downloads unpack.
And usually when you least expect it.
Hey, however long it takes to settle in. I always
And
look
it's different
at it
for
as,
everyone.
yeah, it's a communication between our higher selves, and we're just getting the information that we have received.
A multi-dimensional party.
The beat goes on.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for playing along and singing and drumming
and thank you. And we'll continue with our open forum in just a moment.